What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake, I am bringing you the Gurkha LAPV that Luke Hobb drives in Fast 5. This vehicle was driven around in the favela scene as well as helping out Dom and his crew in breaking into the vault. And I mean, this thing was a pretty well tank, I would say, for the most part. It had a lot of ramming power, a lot of stopping power. It was just an overall just massive machine. If you guys did not know, the Gurkha LAPV is a Canadian manufactured armored truck. It pretty much is a F550 body or chassis with like the weight of having like a trailer attached to it for the most part. But they fabricated their own armor or their own plating for the truck, and they actually put it on the truck themselves. So that's what it turned out to be, and I think this thing turned out pretty nice. The wheels could be possibly a little bit better. I wish we had a really cool looking plate, like maybe like a police type plate, but unfortunately can't do that. And the color, I really wish it was a lot better too, but I got the best I could do with what I was given. So anyways, let's start off what we always do with the base price. So you want to go to the internet, you want to go up here to the Travel and Transport website. You actually want to go down here to the Warstock Cash and Carry website. Then you want to go down and you want to find yourself the Insurgent, part of the heist update. Now, if you have not completed the Humane Labs heist from the high-end department, you're going to be paying a whopping $897,750, which I'm going to put right about here. But if you did complete it, then you will actually get the trade price, which is $675,000. Now, I believe a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, depending on when this video goes up, I believe that it was actually on the casino podium to actually win on the wheel. So, I mean, if you want it that way, pretty easy build and a pretty nice build. A really nice vehicle to have, an armored vehicle. I haven't done too many of these. I thought I'd actually bring one out. Since mainly I do trucks, cars, bikes, and things like that, I thought I'd bring something out more militarized or, you know, someone else in the Fast and Furious franchise. Not a lot of people get a lot of love in the Fast and Furious franchise other than the main, like, protagonists and all that. So I thought I would show a little bit of love to kind of like some of the background people that kind of were in a few movies, but they weren't really, you know, all that special. So Hobbs is definitely one of them, and his Gurkha LAPV is definitely one of those. So anyway, once you have your vehicle bought, all you have to do is meet me at the Los Santos Customs. I'll pull over here real quick. I'm going to give you a little bit of a shine in the light. I think it turned out pretty decent. You guys can let me know what you think about the color and the build in general down in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's go in and customize the beauty. Actually, I'm going to call this thing the Beast since it is driven by Hobbs, and I mean, it looks like a beast. Anyways, the HVY or the Heavy Insurgent is in the off-road category, and you can actually use this in races on off-road vehicles too. So that's pretty cool, and it actually turned out pretty decent. Now, the sad part is, in here, I cannot spin all the way around, so doing my little intro is going to be interesting. So as I always do in all my builds, I go the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you want to recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more than welcome to. But without further ado, let's get into the build. So this is a fairly lackluster customization for this truck, but it doesn't have that much modifications to it. So it's going to be a pretty quick video. So hopefully you guys will definitely see this on Tuesday when I plan on actually uploading it. Again, I do apologize in advance for having this be a little bit off. I recorded it before. I was trying to upgrade the quality for you guys to make it a better video, and in return, I actually ruined it. So I have to re-record it, and yeah, you might not even see this part. So there we go. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the lights. You want to go to headlights, and you just want to keep them stock. Now you can also go to the LS Car Meet or the arena and actually change them to white if you really truly want to, but if you just want to save money or don't even have to worry about changing them all that much because they are fairly white as is, then I would just stay with the stock lights. From there, move on to the neon kits. Neon layout's going to be none because it didn't have any neon. Hobbs was a militarized or kind of like a police or like federal person, and I really highly doubt that he would have neon on his car, especially when it would be, for the most part, illegal or kind of not really all that flashy for this truck anyways. So yeah, make sure to go with none. From there, move on to the plate. You want to go with a blue and white 3, and you want to go with the custom plate, which reads 8924C. That is, again, an 8924C. Now, the reason I say to go for a blue and white 3, it had a minimal amount of stuff on the plate, plus the plate was more or less a white plate with blue text. Unfortunately, we can't get anything like that. It is a kind of, I guess you could say like a police or a kind of law enforcement type plate to it. Unfortunately, like I said, we cannot get anything close to that. My best guess and my best choice for the build, and the closest customization you can get is a blue and white 3. And if you can still do custom plates, or if you actually have, or watching this during the 50 car garage, which possibly gives our custom plates back, then put on the custom plate 8924C. For right now, I'm just going to go with Volt. Same respray for last. We move on to the suspension. You just literally want to keep this stock. This thing was a really tall, big truck. And I mean, lowering it doesn't really do much at all. Like, it barely lowers it at all compared to the newer vehicles nowadays, because this is an old vehicle. So highly suggest this to keep it stock, guys. It just looks so much better, and it just fits the build so much better. After that, move on to the turbo. Now, my best choice for this would be, it probably had a supercharger, but you do want to have that power, you do want to have that speed, you do want to have that acceleration, and you do want to have that little bit more top range on that top speed and all that. So I would definitely add a turbo to it. It just also makes it sound a lot meaner, and I just think it fits really well for the build. After that, move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go down to the off-road category. You want to go to the stock rims, and you want to put on the heavy-duty Steelie rims. Now, the reason I choose these is because it has the same amount of rivets, same kind of like interior design to the rim, as well as like the interior spokes. I'll kind of put like an arrow there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is kind of like present to actually how the rims somewhat look in the movie. Unfortunately, we don't have anything completely close to that, but I still think the heavy duty Steelies are the best choice. From there, move on to the wheel color. You want to go with the alloy color. Now, the main reason for this is, compared to the body, the rims are actually a darker color than the body, and the alloy color is actually a darker color than the main color I have for the car. And that is actually how it is on the actual truck. From there, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. Unfortunately, it didn't have any custom tires. That would have been sick, especially adding these new option with the off-road tires and all that, adding the text as well as changing the treads on it. That would have been sick, but unfortunately it didn't have that. So honestly, just keep it stock, guys. After that, move on to tire smoke. You just want to go to the white tire smoke. I don't see a point in changing this. It most likely had white tire smoke. Last, for the resprays windows, you just want to go with a none. But this is actually a rare tint. It's a green tint, but you do want it nice and clear, so the best option is to go with none. All right, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a rolled steel primer color. All right, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car and my primered out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be using. Unfortunately, this is just going to be an LSC color. I wish I could use a custom crew color, but the color is actually a matte. And in order to do that, I would have to be on PC to do that. I'm on PS5, so it's not going to be happening, but you know, just use the LSC color. It works really well, and I think I came up with a really good custom color for it. So let's get into it. So you want to go to the matte section. You want to go down here to the light gray, and you want to apply that just like that. After that, you want to go to the secondary color. You want to go down to the mattes, and you want to go down to a light gray as well. Now you're probably thinking your car actually had a lot more shine to it. You're right. The main reason that is because I actually added a glitch to the game. Now, unfortunately, this does only work in the LSC. It does not work at the car meet. I don't believe it works at the arena, but I know it doesn't work at the car meet. So what you need to do if you want to do this glitch is very easy to do. All you have to do is go to your primary color, go down here with metallics, and either just sit on this color here, which is the black, or you can cycle through it depending on what you want to do. I usually just sit on the black because all it is you're trying to fool the game into making you add a pearlescent by thinking you use a metallic color. So what you want to do, again, starting off from nothing, go to your primary color, go down to metallics, and sit on the black for about 5 to 10 seconds. So I'm going to do it again just to make sure, show you what it's like. So go down to metallics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back out. Now what you want to do is actually change something on the car. I recommend a plate mainly because it is a very cheap option, and if you have custom plates, it's free. If it is not free, then use the cheapest option, which is this, and then change it back to that. So there you go, just choose one of the cheaper options and then change it back to the plate that you had. After that, once you go back into respray, you go into the primary color, you go down to pearlescents. Long and behold, you can actually add a pearlescent to the car. Now you're probably wondering, what color of pearlescent are we adding to the car? We're actually adding a frost white. Now frost white actually has a little bit of a blue tint compared to the actual ice white. Ice white has a more yellowish or kind of warm tint to it. If you add a frost white, it has a more cool or kind of winterish type tint to it, and it kind of adds a little bit more of a blue tint. So I think frost white actually increases it quite a bit. It also does make it shine a bit more, and it does lighten up the color. It's not as dark. Unfortunately, I wish we could get something that is in between light gray and ice white to kind of get a better option for the build, but we cannot. So I'm actually adding a pearlescent on here of a frost white to actually give it a little bit more flare, a little bit more shine, and a little bit more color, kind of like bringing that vehicle to life. And guys, that's it. That's how you recreate the Gurkha LAPV that Luke Hobb drives in Fast 5. I think it turned out decent. Like I said, I wish it could be a little bit better. You got to take what you can get, guys. You really can't really complain about this. The only thing it's missing to actually be pretty much a Gurkha is the mirrors on the side, which is like the F550 mirrors. They removed the mirrors and Rockstar made it their own. So there you go. So anyways, let's go outside. It's probably gonna be dark out. All right, so it is dark out. I did a nice little spin in the daylight for you guys. I'm gonna go over here in the light so you guys can see the color again. As you can see, it still has that color to it, but that shine increases it and makes it kind of a different color all in general. And I think it works really well. Like I said, I wish I could get a mixture between light gray and white and have it a matte color, maybe even like a rolled steel and maybe like a shadow silver pearlescent type deal, because it seems like it's a light grayish or kind of like a really light shadow silver. You know, it's really hard to make it perfect in game. I did the best I could. I know a lot of people probably just use matte and then they don't really add a pearlescent to it, but I feel like the pearlescent kind of adds a bit more flair and a little bit more definition, adding a little bit more shine to it, as well as adding that contrast between a little bit of light parts and dark parts to it. Can I really complain about it? Not exactly, compared to other people that have built this. And I know I'm not the very first one. This thing is very old. I'm sure tons of people have made this. I'm not copying anyone that I know of, at least I hope not. And yeah, let's just go for a drive as we always do, guys. Now, the reason I thought I would bring this out, like I said, you can win this from the casino wheel, and if you did, then you have a free vehicle to build from Fast and Furious, if you're trying to think of an idea for this vehicle. But yeah, I think the truck turned out pretty decent. I don't really have too much complaints on it other than the color and possibly like a few other little nitty-gritty things here and there. But as you can see, I am in a public session. People are driving right by me and everything. So yeah, as I'm driving around, I can't really think of anything else. So that's pretty much it. So as always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build you would like to see next. And there are links down in the description below for my Discord, my crew, and my Twitter. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, as always. And I definitely hope to see you guys in the next one. I'll catch you guys later. And I'm out. Peace.